I am incredibly confident in my choice to only have one child, but even I sometimes still think, well, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I do want another kid. Maybe my kid should have a sibling. I still question my choice sometimes, even though I've done all of the work and all of the processing, and I've come to this decision because I know it's the best thing for me and my daughter and my husband and the family as a whole and for my dog. But why do we still feel that? I really want to dig into that feeling of like, I know this is the best choice for me, but I'm still feeling this urge every once in a while to have another one. I think a lot of it comes down to human nature. We are built to want more, to have a good thing. Say you love your child so much and you think, if I loved her so much, wouldn't I want more of this same muchness that I love so much? There's also so much noise from the people around us saying, you have to have at least two. You have to have at least two. Only children are spoiled and selfish. Only child syndrome. Your kid's gonna be lonely. There's all of these voices coming at us. And so we're like, wait a second, am I a bad mom? Am I being selfish? Am I not really thinking about this? When in reality, you are thinking about this. You're probably thinking about it more than somebody who's chosen to have 2 or 3. I have a 2.5-year-old, and I've been one and done since I was 6 weeks pregnant because I had hyperemesis gravidarum. I was throwing up all day, every day for months, and I said, if you make it through this pregnancy, you never have to do this again. Just get through this once and we'll call it good. Then around 18 months, I did kind of start to question my choice because I loved my daughter. I loved her so much, and I felt all of this joy and all of these good feelings in being a mother. And I thought, well, another one should surely just bring more joy, right? The decision to just have one is something that I have thought about for a very long time and gone back and forth on and thought about all of the different options for the life ahead of me. I'm not on the fence anymore. I am certain. I am getting my tubes out next month. I have the appointment. I'm so excited. And I think maybe that's part of it, is the finality of that decision is saying, wait a minute, are you sure? My body's going, wait a minute. I think another thing to be aware of too is that as women, we get ovulation, and when ovulation hits, there's usually that feeling of wanting another baby. For me, when the luteal phase hits, I feel a sadness because I think my body knows that I haven't gotten pregnant. And so I'm like, I kind of wish, even though I hate pregnancy. I never want to be pregnant ever again. I hate it so much, but there's still this feeling, this odd feeling, and that's the nuance of motherhood. It's never black and white. It's always several shades of gray. And we have to learn how to hold all of these truths and all of these things that we're feeling at the same time, and accept that there will always be parts of us that think, maybe another one is possible, maybe, but is it the right choice for us? And for a lot of us, we've made that decision knowing that we're still gonna have that feeling sometimes. So much of it too is that social media highlights, and our brains highlight, all of the beautiful parts of parenting. And this is the problem for me, is I'll come across a reel and it says like, the sibling effect. You guys remember the sibling effect? It's like, this is their life before a sibling and this is their life after a sibling, and they're so much happier with their sibling. And it doesn't show those siblings like fighting and screaming at each other. It doesn't show waking up in the middle of the night a million times with 2 kids, doing bedtime routines with 2 kids, forcing 2 kids to brush their teeth, forcing 2 kids to somehow eat a meal, eat something other than air and milk and berries, diaper changing, potty training, like all the realities. There's so much picturesque, perfect visualizations happening of parenting on social media. In a lot of ways, I think social media is ruining parenting and motherhood, but that's another video. Maybe I will make that video. But I think our brains also go to this place where, but like the morning after birth is beautiful. That's one day in your entire life. You'll get through that day, it'll be over, you'll never do it again, and you'll grieve the second time you did it as much as you grieved the first time. And I think people get caught in this trap of grieving the loss of the beautiful moments of parenting and not realizing that there's also parts of motherhood and parenting that you don't actually enjoy that much. And for me, the cons of having another kid totally outweigh the pros. But when I'm in that moment of like, oh, but giving birth again, you know, it's like, it's this trick that happens in your brain. And you have to just say, that's biology. I'm thinking logically about this. And this is where we reframe what's happening, right? Instead of, I miss the newborn phase and I wish I could just sit down and snuggle a newborn. What if tonight instead you sat in bed and snuggled your toddler to bed, or even your younger kid to bed? That so often cures the baby fever for me. Thinking about sleep deprivation is really all I need to cure baby fever, but I also realize that in those moments that I'm like really missing having a newborn or having a small baby, that's my daughter, that's my child that I have right now, that I can like dote on and spend time with and snuggle with and sit down and watch a movie together and just cuddle. And I can kind of feed that need with the kid I already have, because I already made one. I don't need to go making another one to feel all of those good feelings, you know? And we have to reframe it too as a feeling is not reality. Just because you feel sometimes like you might like to have another baby, you have to like push yourself into the logical reality of what having another child means for you mentally, financially, what that means for your marriage, what that means for your kid that already exists, what that means for your dog. Genuinely, because I get postpartum rage and then my pets are not having a good time. It helps me to kind of ground back into my truth, my reality, which is, what do I really want out of life? And what I really want is my Rory Lorelai relationship, which I'm building. And I don't really want anybody else in there messing that up for us, except for my husband. I said that once and my husband got really upset, but I was like, that's not what I mean. Like, obviously you can be Luke, you know, like it's fine. You belong. You're just like Luke. You're basically the same thing. So if you've ever seen my husband, the only difference between him and Luke is that my husband wears his hat forwards, not backwards. He thinks wearing a backwards hat is silly, which I agree. When I zoom out and I look at reality, I know my truth and I know what I really want out of life. I want to be a good present mom, and I know that I can't be a good present mom to 2 kids. I know my capacity, and I know that I would drown with 2 children. I'm almost drowning still with 1. I want to enjoy my life. I want to be happy in my life. And I don't think 2 kids would allow that for me, because there's so many other things that I want to do beyond being a mother, and that's okay. And I want to have the capacity to show up to motherhood happy and full and fulfilled and real, be the best mom that I can be to just 1. And that's my reality, that's my truth. That feeling, that fleeting feeling of wanting another one, it's just biology, it's just emotion, it's not real, it's not my truth. So just to say that you don't need to panic when you feel this feeling, because I always used to be like, oh no, do I not want another one? And then I would go and talk to my husband and he would be like, no, you don't want another one. Like, I don't want another one. We're both so happy with how things are. We're comfortable. We don't want another one. And this feeling always derailed me, threw me for a loop. I have a one and done following on Instagram. And every time I said this, I would lose 1,000 followers, because they'd be like, what is she talking about? Why is she doing this again? If you follow me on Instagram, you probably remember some of those times. I love finally feeling so confident in my decision that these fleeting feelings don't get to me anymore. I know what they are, I know how to identify them, and I know how to say, that's not my truth, that's not my reality. You can go away. But it's important that we don't freak out when that happens, and we just accept it. It's like anxiety, you know? I once had a therapist that said, if you name your anxiety, give your anxiety a name. Like, Henry's showed up today. Henry showed up and told me to be worried about this, and I think he's wrong. Same thing about baby fever. It's exactly the same thing. My baby fever's name is Rachel. Go away, Rachel. It's okay to have the baby fever sometimes. We all do. It's human. It's biology. It's what we do with that that's important. And I know that if you're one and done, you're not just willy-nilly gonna have another kid. But I do know that it's probably possible that if you're having this feeling, you're freaking out a little bit. So I hope this video helped you. Put something down in the comments. Let me know what your baby fever is feeling like these days. If you never have it, I'd be curious about that as well. I know a lot of people have told me that they don't experience that, and I'm like, good for you. I'm happy for you, but I do still sometimes feel a little shaky, and that's okay.